No doubt the convergence of Hanukkah and Thanksgiving for the first time in 100 years has made for some fun conversation and pictures. We're told the simultaneous celebrations will not happen for another 70,000 years. But for Susie Goldsmith and David Meyerhof, the 8 days of Hanukkah from November 27th to December 5th hold a deeper meaning. Goldsmith is a survivor of the Kindertransport, as is Meyerhof's mother. As explained in this City of Burbank proclamation, in which Mayor Emily Gabaletti declares December 2, 2013 World Kindertransport Day in Burbank, Kindertransport was a rescue mission that saved the lives of nearly 10,000 Jewish children from Nazi Germany, Austria, and Czechoslovakia in the 9 months leading up to World War II, 75 years ago. Children up to age 16 were taken to foster homes in England in the aftermath of Kristallnacht.
I would like to tell the story of my mother, who was on the Kindertransport. She was living in Berlin in 1938 in an apartment, and there were several guys living next door, and they told her, "Don't go out tonight." And that was the night of November 9th, which was Kristallnacht, the night of the broken glass, when the Nazis attacked every Jewish person walking in the street and burned the synagogues and the homes, the businesses, smashed the windows of every Jewish business, every Jewish home. And so there was so much glass on the ground, it looked like crystals. So that was Kristallnacht, and that's considered the beginning of the Holocaust.
Goldsmith's family nightmare also began in November 1938, when she was just 7 years old.
Well, after my father was arrested and put in concentration camp, which nobody believed that would ever happen because he had served in World War I and he was a very good Austrian citizen. Anyway, they let him out about 2 weeks after, and he immediately got in touch with the British Quakers who had started this Kindertransport, and my brother and I were on the first transport to London, December 10th, which was exactly 1 month after Kristallnacht. I felt my family had just abandoned me. At that point, my brother was, we were put into different groups, and obviously I was put in a group of younger children, and one of the teens was put in charge of us. And I think I cried from the beginning of that till I got to England. I'm not sure. No, I stopped in Holland. I remember that. I stopped in Holland.
The trauma of Kindertransport and the Holocaust was not always an experience easily shared with family.
Both my parents survived the Holocaust, and my grandparents. They all escaped from Germany. My mother was on the Kindertransport, but it's something that they didn't talk about till quite late in our lives. It's a very difficult situation to talk about, and I think this is true for many survivors of the Holocaust, to talk to their children about it.
After Kristallnacht, every month or every week, a new set of rules would come out from the Nazis. For instance, as children, we could no longer go to a park. We couldn't go swimming in a public pool. We couldn't go to a library. We couldn't go to the movies. All of it was closed off to us. The first thing that happened was Jewish children were separated from the non-Jewish children in the classroom. We were all put in the back of the class, and we were no longer asked questions. We could raise our hand till doomsday and we would not be called on. The children were not allowed to play with us anymore. And it was very odd for a 7-year-old. Nobody could understand what was going on.
Goldsmith and Meyerhof will share their stories on December 2nd on the second floor of the Burbank Town Center in front of the Burlington Coat Factory. Like last year, organizers from Temple Beth Emet in Burbank will light the menorah each night at 7 and have programs and activities planned. Goldsmith will speak on December 2nd, and Meyerhof, who has published a book of poetry, will read a poem about his mother's experience as a survivor of the Kindertransport.
Kindertransport saved nearly 10,000 children, but not their parents. 90% of the parents were murdered by the Nazis. And the Holocaust is the big picture of this story, wherever there is injustice and oppression, it must be stopped. And I think that people have to learn the lesson from the Holocaust.
My message, as I tell children today, is that the message is when you find children who are different from you, make friends with them. Find out their background. Find out what you have in common with them. Form a new friendship. Don't let it happen again.
Reporting for MyBurbank.com, I'm Peter Musurlian.